Hello everybody, this is NAPA Fan here, and this is the finale race in NAPA IROC 4. We are here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the final 20-lap event of the season. We are here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for a 50-mile race to crown the champion in NAPA IROC 4. And we're going to get right down to the points. Luke Rainey is the championship leader coming into this event. He has 40 points towards the championship. Brad Stover is 4 points behind. Sebastian Kukulon is 6 points behind. Roger Ray is 9 points behind. Colton Yo and Ryan Kinghart are both 10 points behind. Nicholas Samadio is 12 points behind. Tristan Allen is 12 points behind. Zachary Fitzwater is 13 points behind. Diego Yepez is 14 points behind. And Cody Still 21 points behind. As a matter of fact, Cody Still is actually not in championship contention. But everyone from Yepez on up are. So the top 10 drivers in points in this 13-driver field are in championship contention for the finale race. And twice this championship has actually been decided before the finale race. So it is as tight as it could ever be here in the IROC series. And I'm going to go over how each position goes and how many points they get at the end of the race. It's 21 points for first, 17 points for second, 14 points for third, 12 points for fourth, 10 points for fifth, and it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2 for the next few positions. But, Nathan, you won this race. The last time the IROC series came here, what does it take to win in one of these IROC cars here in Indianapolis?
1, you have to be good at drafting. 2, you have to be smart. And 3, you just have to be lucky. Because if I remember right, I did make that pass late in the going, and I just got lucky in getting the win. And that's what might happen here today. Back in 2017, I couldn't win the championship, but here today, 10 out of the 13 drivers still have a chance at the championship. That is incredible. So literally, any one of those 10 drivers can win, and it's going to be very intense. And we will not know of who wins until the last lap and the last turn and at the finish line.
Yeah, 20 laps to decide it here in Indianapolis. It's going to be an interesting one. And for the 4th time this season, John Hart starts on the pole. And if you don't know, the way the starting lineup goes for every race is the inverse of the points positions. And John Hart has been last in the points the entire season. However, he might not leave the IROC Championship last in the points. Daniel McMillan's alongside him. McMillan's, I believe, 11 points ahead of him. It's very possible that John Hart could actually avoid being last in the points in the IROC series this year. Very possible, but we'll just have to see. He started on the pole for all 4 races this year, and I don't think it's ever been done before in any series, ever. It just hasn't. But every single race, John Hart has led us to the green flag here in the IROC series this year. But it's not really much of an honor to do so, because that means you've not been doing too good in the point standings. But either way, John Hart starts on the pole alongside Daniel McMillan. Neither of those guys are in championship contention, but since we do the starting lineup by the inverse of the point standings, they get to lead us to the green flag for this race. Cody Sills alongside Diego Yepez in row number 2. Sill is not in championship contention, but Diego Yepez is, and with that inverse of the starting positions, actually the inverse of the points positions, I should say, Yepez might be in a good position to possibly win the championship because he is the highest guy in the field who is in championship contention. That's Zachary Fitzwater and Tristan Allen in row number 3. We have Nicholas Samadio and Auto Club winner Ryan Kinghart in row number 4. Row number 5 sees Colton Yo and the number 24 of Roger Ray. Then you have the number 13 and the 99, Sebastian Kukulon and Brad Stover, respectively. And then our points leader, Luke Rainey, in the number 19. Now, the thing is, it's not going to be too hard to work your way from the back to the front in such a small field. So the advantage could easily still go to Luke Rainey in winning this championship if he wins, or if Brad Stover wins. They will lock the championship regardless of who finishes second. It's not the case for the rest of the field. If Kukulon were to win the race and Luke Rainey finished second, Luke Rainey would still win the championship. But there's so many scenarios throughout this race. We'll try to discuss them as they unfold on the racetrack. But otherwise, I gave you the points. I gave you what each position is worth. And from there, hopefully you guys can figure out what's going on in the final race of NAPA IROC 4, and there's a good chance this might be the final race in IROC forever. Don't know if this series will return next year. We just don't know, but either way, we're going to go out loud here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's been the finale for IROC every single time we've done it, and once again, we will crown a champion here at the Brickyard in the International Race of Champions. John Hart and Daniel McMillan on the front row. Let's see who wins the championship in the 4th edition of NAPA IROC. Cody Sill's gonna lead lap number 1 in the 37. He's not been having the best of runs in his career as of late. He's been doing very poorly in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series this season, but here he is pulling away like crazy from the rest of the field. Nicholas Samadeo to the 2nd position. Samadeo's 12 points behind Luke Rainey coming into this race. Luke Rainey is already midway through the field. He has passed 5 cars in the first lap. And I could definitely imagine after yesterday and hitting the pit road wall head on and getting eliminated from championship contention in the first race of the season of the Hers Elimination Series, that Luke Rainey is definitely mad. And a mad driver is a good driver. And Rainey working that inside lane, moving its way through the field. Samadeo trying to close in on Cody Sill, last year's Indy 250 winner, up to the 2nd position.
Yeah, with Luke Rainey, he is mad because he got eliminated from the championship condition in the elimination series. But I'm going to take an example from Kyle Busch. When he's mad, he drives at his best. So maybe today, when Luke Rainey is mad and he wants to win this championship in IROC, maybe he might drive mad and drive very aggressively. And then Samadeo, I picked him as one of the favorites for the Indianapolis 250, and he's showing me why right here right now in the IROC race here at Indianapolis.
Yeah, he started this race in the 7th position, and he's already up to 2nd, so he moved up 5 positions in the first 3 laps, and he's starting to close in here on Cody Sill for the 3rd position. Daniel McMillan on John Hart. Now, McMillan's one of those guys we really haven't talked about at all this season, but he did not have a good outing in his first IROC, and we'll have to see if he gets a victory here today. It's been a long time since he's gotten a win on NAPA fans, since Rockingham in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series last year. And for the lead, Nicholas Samadeo and Cody Sill have checked out from the rest of the field right now, and Samadeo is going to the inside of Cody Sill for the race lead.
Right now, those two are absolutely gone right now, but the longer they stay side by side, the more these guys are going to close in, and they are right there.
And Daniel McMillan is right behind Nicholas Samadeo. Samadeo is going to lead lap 4, but McMillan might have a run to the inside. You know, McMillan did a really smart thing right there and just stayed behind Samadeo. He didn't go 3 wide entering turn number 1, and we saw yesterday that 3 wide just simply does not work out here. And we'll probably see that on Saturday, probably see it on Friday as well with the Freedom 50 and the Indianapolis 250, where when they go 3 wide, it just simply does not work out. Luke Rainey getting past there on the outside. Here's the thing, Brad Stover is only 4 points behind Luke Rainey. Stover has a really good chance at winning this IROC championship because all he needs are 4 points, and like I said, if Brad Stover were to win this race, he'd guarantee to win the championship because even if Luke Rainey were to finish 2nd, he'd have the tiebreaker on wins and Stover would be your champion. But right now, Brad Stover is 8th on the racetrack, or he was 8th. He is now running in the 7th position, I do believe. And Luke Rainey has fallen to 10th. So Luke Rainey lost a lot of ground there on that lap, and like in the Hers Elimination Series, getting stuck in the outside lane is definitely not what you want to do. And what in the world Luke Rainey really went up the racetrack there, and Sebastian Cuculon ran right into him, and now Luke Rainey is in the last position. Meanwhile, Daniel McMillan and John Arndt have surpassed Nicholas Samadeo for the race lead. Cody Sill is third, and Roger Ray is in the 5th position as Samadeo files in, I should say, to the 4th position. I have the right letters, I can't get them in the right order. Welcome to NAPA fan.
Yeah, right now McMillan is out front, and all single file. But because we are single file, that is when the draft is most significant, and we are seeing some of these cars closing up to those top 3 or 4. But the last 4 cars, they have fallen back a little bit. Meanwhile, battle for 2nd, and that's not what Luke Rainey wants at all.
No, not at all. Coming into this race, the championship leader, I don't think there's any way he can win the championship finishing last here today. And the good thing is, 3 guys who are not in championship contention are in the top 5 right now, so that helps him out a little bit. Samadeo, from where he is right now, wouldn't be able to surpass Rainey, because Rainey does have a win. That helps Rainey out in a tiebreaker with any of these guys who don't have wins. Samadeo's right now 3rd. That would only award him 14 points. And with Rainey being in last place, he'd get 2 points towards the championship for that. And that means it'd be tied exiting this race. But Luke Rainey has that win on Nicholas Samadeo, so Samadeo really has to do a good job in this race to have a shot. Pretty much has to win to have a chance at the championship. He can finish 2nd, but that would require Luke Rainey to finish in the last position. He's gotten him on Colton Yeo for the 13th, or for the 12th position, I should say. And he might find a way to close back up through this field. But there's a bit of a gap there between Roger Ray and Ryan King. Ryan King are a little bit deep in the field. Cuculon deep in the field. Colton Yeo as well. And really, as of right now, I think the only 2 guys who I really see having a decent shot at the championship at the moment are Samadeo, Stover, and Rainey. Even though Rainey is as far back as he is the points leader. And Samadeo would have to finish 2nd or 1st in order to surpass him if Rainey were to finish in the last position. The Samadeo, the best of the championship contenders right now, closing back in on Daniel McMillan. McMillan's let the past few laps here. But Samadeo might be closing in. John Arndt might have a say in this one. He's going to try to get to the inside of Nicholas Samadeo. Not able to do so. There goes Samadeo to the inside for the race lead. Help from John Arndt. He's going to take it back from Daniel McMillan.
Samadeo did a little bit of a side draft swipe going into turn number 3, and that was what was able to get him to the race lead. But we are still early on here at Indianapolis, and here comes the Chickamobile in the level. Not in the Level Cup Series, in the AAA Cup Series, I should say, John Arndt.
John Arndt going to go to the inside, take the race lead away. And for John Arndt, this has been a terrible, terrible season for him. He can't win the championship, but why not go ahead and win the final race? You started on the pole all those times, put it to good use. Well, here he is, leading the field. He just put Samadeo on the outside lane, and look at this long line of cars coming. Samadeo's going to fall way back in the 48. Here comes Brad Stover, and right now I think Brad Stover is in the championship position. He got the win at Daytona earlier this season, and now he is running in the 4th position. Meanwhile, Daniel McMillan does not want to get rid of this race lead. Halfway here in the final race of NAPA IROC 4, and John Arndt is back out front in the 05, but here comes McMillan back to the inside, taking the race lead away from John Arndt.
And Samadeo stuck on the outside lane. I think he might even drop all the way back to maybe even last place because of it.
Yeah, that outside lane is kryptonite here at Indianapolis, and you're right, he is going to fall to last. There was just simply no hole for him to file in on that inside lane, and you go all the way to the back. And I really don't think we're going to see that in the Indianapolis 250. When it comes to the Indianapolis 250, they tend to stay double wide throughout the entire field in a big pack. When it comes to the stock cars, however, like the IROC machines, like yesterday in the Hers Elimination Series, like we're going to see later in September with the Chick-fil-A Cup Series and the Rockstar Pro Series, that outside lane just can't work at all, and that inside lane is where everyone's going to be, and they're going to stay single file a little bit more than they will go double file like they do in the IndyCar. So the racing is going to be completely different from what we're going to see later on this week with the Indianapolis 250 and the Freedom 50, but it's still interesting to see what these guys are doing. And you know, some of these guys are going to be in the Indy 250, at least one of them, and that one guy I'm mentioning is Luke Rainey in the number 19, who barely advanced on. Colton Yo's another guy who's also going to be in the Indianapolis 250 as well. They're actually the only two drivers in this field who, sorry, Sam Adio as well, excuse me there. We have three guys in this race who are going to be in the Indianapolis 250, Sam Adio, Colton Yo, and Luke Rainey, all in that inside lane, but back in the field. Now, Luke Rainey is right now running in the 10th position. That awards you 5 points. He's going to take 9th away from Kukulon. Brad Stover is 4th, but he's stuck on the outside. He's going to fall to at least 5th here. I don't know if Rainey can surpass Stover. Rainey might get it. Might get his second Napa Fan Championship as well. Remember, here in 2017, he won the Haas IndyCar Series Championship, winning the Indianapolis 250 in 2017. So watch out for Luke Rainey here. He might be able to surpass Stover and possibly take the championship away here from the 99. But the way it's looking right now, only unless Fitzwater wins this race, it's looking like it's either going to be Stover or Rainey in victory lane for the championship. And championship lane, I should say, here for Napa IROC 4.
Yeah, you mentioned that Luke Rainey could become a two-time champion. There's a very good list of drivers.
Oh, Fitzwater with an issue with the number 9. And he was running second at the time, and his day is going to be done, and I don't think he's going to get back to the pit lane. As long as he stays on the apron, however, I do not believe the caution will come out. And Daniel McMillan has probably a second lead on John Hart right now, because it was Fitzwater who was behind McMillan at the time. Fitzwater's issue slowed the entire field down, and McMillan is going to drive away right now and possibly win this race in easy mode. Going to be 6 laps to go for Daniel McMillan, as he's going to have. We'll see here. He crosses the line there. Then there's John Arnn at the line. Almost a 2-second lead right now for Daniel McMillan after that. However, the championship's still really interesting. Brad Stover running 3rd right now. That's 14 towards the championship. Rainey stuck on the outside. He was 7th the last time by. And 7th place awards you 8 points towards the championship. And that's a 6-point difference, which would give Brad Stover the championship if they finish the way they are currently running at the moment. But Daniel McMillan's out of here for 75.
Yeah, McMillan is absolutely gone. But what I was trying to say until Fitzwater had that problem was that there's a pretty short list of two-time champions on Napa Fan, but if Luke Rainey can get that second championship, then he could submit his legacy as one of the greats on Napa Fan. Heck, I'm even a two-time champion on Napa Fan.
Yeah, and you are definitely one of the greats. You won this race before. This is a pretty big race to win. I mean, you got the Daytona race and the Indianapolis race in the IROC series. They're probably the best races to win in this series, and it's looking like McMillan might get one of them here today. However, these guys, if they stay single file, they might find a way to the back bumper of that 75, and right now they're cooperating extremely well, trying to close in. John Arnn 2nd, Brad Stover, Yepez, Kinghart, Sill, Tristan Allen, Luke Rainey to 12th. Remember, Fitzwater had his issue. He probably blew a tire, something along those lines. Something. I don't think it was a tire. If it was a tire, he would have gotten back out there, but he's 2 laps down. He will finish last here today at Indianapolis, but tough break there for Zachary Fitzwater. Yepez to the inside of Brad Stover. This is exactly what Luke Rainey wants to see. It's pretty big right here. Rainey's in a terrible position right now. 12th, only awards you 3 points. But if Stover falls back enough, if Kinghart gets to the inside, Stover's probably going to fall back to 6th. Not going to happen. He's going to slot ahead of Kinghart. He'll remain in the 4th position. That gives you 12 points, and Stover's still in the championship position here in Indianapolis. However, we might be having a battle for the race lead here brewing near the end of this race. John Hart is eating away at the lead that Daniel McMillan had. McMillan had a 1.86 second lead at one point. It is now a second less than that, only a few laps later. And now Yepez, Brad Stover, all single file behind John Hart. That draft comes into play like crazy here in these IROC machines, and they're going to close right in on that 75 for the race lead here shortly. Here comes Diego Yepez trying to take second from John Art. Not going to be able to do so. Do you think John Art's going to have a shot at this race victory here in Indianapolis?
To be honest, I think so. He's closing in pretty fast on McMillan in that 75. He has the draft of the 75 as well. And he has help from behind as well. So Art is in a perfect position to possibly strike on McMillan.
And what a win that would be for John Arndt, who was last in the points the entire season. The race victory at the end of the season would definitely be a nice way to end it for that 05 team in the IROC series. It's been a while since John Arndt's won a NAPA fan, since September of last year at Darlington in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. I think John Arndt would be going for his 17th career NAPA fan win if he got it here today. He's got quite a few NAPA fan wins. He's one of the winningest drivers on this channel. And he is closing in on Daniel McMillan for the race lead. And in the meantime, for the IROC Championship, it is Brad Stover in the position to win it. And as long as he stays on the inside lane, I think he's going to get it. So we're going to focus on the race lead. The bottom two guys in championship standings now going side by side at the white flag in NAPA IROC 4. Will McMillan get the run up top, or will John Arndt take it away? Arndt's got the inside. He's got the advantage on the 75.
And that might have just done it for John Arndt.
We'll see. Will McMillan clear Yepez? He will not. That's going to do it right there. John Arndt able to reel in the 75 for the race lead. And on the final lap of the race, the guy who started on the pole for every event this season is finally going to get a race victory after being last in the points the entire season. John Arndt in the 05. It's going to be win number, we'll see what it is officially. That's not official anymore. Opening up the wrong spreadsheet, but either way, John Arndt's gonna win in Indianapolis. Brad Stover will finish in the 6th position. Luke Rainey finished 11th. Brad Stover is most likely gonna get it. I don't think anybody else is going to be able to surpass him there. Yepez came in 14 behind. He will not surpass Brad Stover, or will he? Yeah, we're going to have to check on this one here. Yepez had 10 points, and yeah, he will not. So he will not surpass Brad Stover. Brad Stover was 4 points behind coming into this race. Luke Rainey was 5 positions behind him. And I'm pretty sure that Brad Stover has won the NAPA IROC Championship for 2019. But John Arndt gets the final race win of the season. I was actually trying to look up the wins list near the end, and I opened up the old one that I used to use, and it was not accurate. But I'm pretty sure that is John Arndt's 17th career NAPA fan win. I want to confirm that this time and see what I can find here on the official wins list. But a great win for John Arndt after the tough season he's had so far. That is officially John Arndt's 17th career NAPA fan win. He goes to 3rd, solely 3rd, on the all-times wins list on NAPA fan. He's the 3rd greatest driver ever to hit this channel. How about that? 17 career wins for John Arndt here today. 3rd on the all-time wins list for that. And Brad Stover going to be your champion in IROC 4. We're going to go ahead and confirm that for you, but either way, there are the official standings of the race, and we're going to actually go ahead, you're going to see this, and export it right now to make sure that it is correct. And while we do that, probably should put the right name in there. While we do that, Nathan, how about John Arndt grabbing his 17th career win, 3rd all-time on the wins list?
That is pretty special and pretty amazing. Not too many drivers can have that many wins ever, let alone on NAPA fan. And for John Arndt to get it done, 17 career wins, and now 3rd all time. He's definitely one of the greats. I only have about 8 wins, but 8 wins does not compare to 17 wins. That's for sure. So, great job for John in number 05.
And we can confirm that Brad Stover is your champion by 1 point ahead of Luke Rainey. That was really close right there. If Brad Stover had lost the position to Nicholas Samedillo, we really would have had an interesting battle. But it is Brad Stover, your 2019 NAPA IROC champion, and that is Brad Stover's first career NAPA Fan Championship. How about that for Brad Stover? Getting it done ahead of Luke Rainey and Diego Pez for his first ever NAPA Fan Championship, and that was actually a lot closer than what we thought. We were focusing on John Arndt there, and a pretty big deal as well, becoming the third all-time winningest driver on NAPA Fan, but Brad Stover getting the victory here at Indianapolis for the championship in NAPA IROC 4.
Man, I thought that Luke Rainey was going to become a double champion and join the short list of... I don't know who is all double champion on NAPA Fan, but I know...
Matt Dalio, Harry Jalarvin Alonso, and Cameron Garlington, Tyler Selsman, and you are 5 that come to mind. And those are pretty big names right there, so that would have been big for Luke Rainey if he did it. But he was unable to get it there, and Brad Stover getting it by 1 point here in Indianapolis. That was a lot closer than what we expected. But Stover gets it done here in Indy, and John Arndt wins his 17th career NAPA Fan race here in Indianapolis in NAPA IROC 4. What a week for all these guys, especially for Luke Rainey so far. He barely got into the Indianapolis 250, wrecked out yesterday, and barely lost the championship today. I mean, what's going on with Luke Rainey there? You know, I mean, that's definitely not the way he wants to head into the Indianapolis 250, but we'll have to see if he gets some sweet redemption on Saturday. Until then, we have Freedom 50 qualifying, Coke 600 qualifying tomorrow, and also the second race in the Craftsman Throwback Series at Charlotte, the World 500. On Friday, we have Carb Day and the Freedom 50, and then the Indianapolis 250 Saturday morning. So a lot coming up here still to come on Indy 250 week. But final thoughts on this race, Nathan. Pretty interesting what they were doing out there on the IROC machines.
Yeah, that was pretty good racing. A lot different than what we've been seeing all weekends with the Indy cars. But you know what? That was a pretty good race. And if only... Just think about it, if Stover finished 7th instead of 6th, or if it ended up being a tie, then it would have been really close, but I think Luke Rainey would have got the championship because I don't think Brad Stover has a win.
He does. He did win the first race of the season, so it would have really been interesting because they would have both had 1 win. It would have gone to the average finishing position. Because of the way the points go here in this series, you know, you get different levels of points from where you finish. So that could have been different. Even if that was different, I don't know what we would have done. We might have had to go ahead and do another race. I don't know. But either way, we thankfully did not have to go to that kind of a tiebreaker. And that's the thing about a 4-race season. You're going to get ties like that, and they're going to be really hard to break. And thankfully, we do actually have a 1-point advantage to Brad Stover. And Brad Stover has officially won the NAPA IROC Championship. Sorry for this race at the end, sounding a little confusing. It was, it was really interesting seeing that battle for the race lead. We're really focusing on that, but we really didn't focus on what happened to Brad Stover at the end. He got shuffled out of line, fell back on that last lap, and he almost lost the championship. I really didn't notice that till the end, but he was able to nip it out ahead of Luke Rainey. And Brad Stover is your NAPA IROC 4 champion. So thank you guys so much for watching this season for NAPA IROC 4. Like I said, I don't think it's going to return. Really wasn't that successful, and you guys obviously didn't seem to like it that much as you have in past years. So there's probably no need to return it, unfortunately. But if we don't return it, John Arndt's going to be forever the last winner of NAPA IROC 4. So it works out pretty well for him after all, that 05 team, after starting on the pole for all 4 races this season. Actually started on the pole for this race as well, and he got the race victory. So great job there by John Arndt. But thank you guys so much for watching. I've been talking long enough. Thanks to Nathan Stapleton for joining me for this race, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for Freedom 50 qualifying here from Indianapolis. That's going to be fun. And then Coke 600 qualifying and the World 500 in the Craftsman Throwback Series. It's going to be a great day tomorrow here for Indy 250 Week 2019. On behalf of Nathan Stapleton, here are the final point standings for NAPA IROC 4. Congratulations to John Arndt, and congratulations to Brad Stover, your 2019 champion in NAPA IROC. I will see you guys later.
See you guys.